All righty, good morning, everybody.
Hi, good morning.
Tuesday, October 11th, 2022.
It's our son's birthday today. Not him and me, son. It's him and me. Theodore's 20. Happy 20th birthday, Theodore.
Happy birthday, Theodore.
If you look right behind us, that's Interstate 40. That goes all the way to California. We're not taking that road, but that's it. It's been busy like that all day, all night.
We're in Knoxville, Tennessee. We got a visit yesterday from Fred Heyman. I didn't even realize he lived in Knoxville, but Fred and I are friends from a few years back. Did some outdoor swims together up in Maine, Peaks Island to Portland. Anyway, we got a beautiful day. John, you anything else to say?
Yeah, just got gloves on today and a jersey. Good to go.
42 degrees. Okay, guys, we'll catch up with you later. Oh, good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning. A little chilly, 42 degrees. John and I just left the hotel a couple of minutes ago. And this is about as good as it gets when you get out of a hotel on a busy road, and 5 minutes later you find yourself on a bike path. No cars, quiet. So a nice way to start the day. The other day we had one in the east, but it was just a tease. It was for about half a mile, maybe 3/4 if we were lucky. Yesterday we had a day off in Knoxville, which was really welcomed after biking 7. Having a day off's a nice, a really nice thing. Just relaxing. Did a little laundry. Good morning. Went to a coffee shop, had a coffee and a muffin. John and I, we had a friend, Fred Heyman, come and visit us. He moved to Knoxville a couple of years ago. And the three of us went out for pizza. And then just kind of a relaxing afternoon also. So far, all systems are go. Things are going good. Legs are feeling great, of course, because we took yesterday off. We have about 42 miles in front of us, which I think now for us, that's a pretty easy day. Followed by a 67, a 59, and like a 36. And then hopefully we'll be in Nashville then. So our goal is Nashville by Friday. John's wife Pam's flying in to visit us. We're hoping for an enjoyable weekend in Nashville. Okay, guys, have a great day. Okie dokie, guys. Checking back in. That bike trail was a tease. It didn't really last that long. And then we were on a highway for a little bit before we switched onto this road. I don't know if you can see the cows in that field there. Big shoulder. Not too much traffic for a Tuesday morning. So that's all good. I guess I got to give a shout out to my siblings. I guess you guys all know I grew up in Merrick, or if you haven't, now you know. And I have an older sister, Marianne, 2 years older than me. My younger sister, Patty, 1 year younger. And my brother, Paul, who's 2 years younger. I was born in Bethpage. I lived there for a couple of years before my parents moved to Merrick. And we ended up pretty much growing up on Riverside Avenue. So I have to also give a shout out to the older brother I never had, Don Campbell. Don O'Reilly lived across the street from me, and so did Steve and Dave Barrera. Also, I was lucky enough at an early age to meet Ray Nalpant. And in first and second grade at Curia Vaz, I met Gene Schramm, two lifelong friends. I'm so lucky to have them, those guys in my life. Anyway, I don't want to get too sentimental here. Just checking in. JTR's in front of me there. You can see him pointing out the cows. He loves cows. He loves horses. He loves the country. Wow, what a trip. All right, guys, I'll probably talk too much. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh boy, look at this. The dreaded one-lane closed ahead sign. This is the sign that got me in Las Vegas on my second attempt to cross the country on bike. Those legs, they stick out. They can extend. I never knew they telescope out. Well, you guys know the story. I hit the leg and over the handlebars I went. Anyway, I think John has probably mentioned it. If I haven't, I can't remember what I mentioned, what I don't mention. We're navigating with Google Maps, which is really, really cool. You don't have to look at a paper map. You just plug it in your phone. It tells you where to go. And although you never know what's around the next bend or what's over the next hill, it's so much easier than a paper map. And also, it's a mixed bag of roads. You know, sometimes you're on a bike trail, sometimes you're on a gravel road, sometimes you're on a highway, even times where you might be on an interstate for a short period of time, but that's very short usually. And it really is an interesting way to navigate. I mean, it makes it a lot easier than paper maps, that's for sure. All right, guys, signing off. Okay, guys, just checking in. We got a big truck behind us. John, I'm going to pull over. JTR and I just pulled over to let this truck go. All right, we just got off of a busy road onto this road, which seems to be a little bit quieter, but we did have that big truck. We just stopped and took a layer of clothing. Well, John starts with short sleeve shirts. I start with 3 layers in the morning and heavy gloves. So I just took my heavy gloves off, put my my medium gloves on, and took off a sweater because it's starting to warm up already. It's only about 9:30, maybe 10 in the morning today, but we only have a short day. We have 42 miles to go. I already gave a shout out to some of my friends growing up to junior high. That's Ray Nalpant, Gene Schramm, Don Campbell, Donna Riley, Stephen Day Brea. Junior high, holy moly. So when you say, geez, Joe, what are you thinking about all day long? You're on this bike trip cross country on your bike all day. You got a lot of time to yourself. What do you think about? The question is more, what don't you think about? You think about everything. So when I think about growing up in American, junior high, I got friends. I hope I don't miss anybody. I'm going to try and cover everybody. Junior high, I met Frank Lito, Jeff Giafuni, Scott Alexander, Bob Goldkrantz. These are guys I still keep in touch with and see on a regular basis. I got a quick Frank Lito story to tell everybody because I remember distinctly how I met the guy. Well, how I knew who Frank was. I was eating lunch in the cafeteria with Jimmy Caperna, and he says to me, "Did you hear what Frank Lito did?" And I said, "Frank Lito? Who's Frank Lito?" So Jimmy goes, "You know the guy when we play kill the guy with the ball, he's got the cast on his arm and he's banging everybody over the head with the cast?" I go, "Oh, that guy, I know that guy, sure." He goes, "In shop class, we used to take the outside of a Bic pen and we'd wrap it in copper wire, and you could make a magnet of it. You'd put it on the different ends of a battery, and it could, you know, pick up like paper clips and stuff like that. It was a little science experiment on how to make a battery." Well, Frank took his magnet and in shop class, and he stuck it in the outlet, and it shorted out the whole northwest wing of Merrick Avenue Junior High. That was my introduction to Frank Lito, and if it wasn't for Frank, I probably would never become a New York City firefighter. So anyway, that's a little Frank Lito story. I'm trying to think of who else I met in junior high that I still keep in touch with, and I said I don't want to miss anybody. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Matt Rose, I got to give a shout out to. I visited Matt in Paris. He's been living in Paris for a long time. Scott Alexander, we reconnected with. He's got a house up in New Hampshire. We go skiing all the time. And Jeff Giafuni, he's the guy that we visited, him and his wife Heidi, in Lovettsville. Guys, I got to pay attention here. We got a big intersection. I'll catch up with you later. Bye. All right, we got another check-in here. We just got off of somewhat of a highway, but there wasn't much traffic, and there was a nice wide shoulder, which even had said bike lane on it, so that really wasn't bad. But when the cars go by, they are noisy. Now we're on a bit of a quieter road. So just going back to a little bit more of my biography. I was talking about junior high before, and maybe I got to throw in John Musey, Lou Weiler, Ed Stecker, Steve Conroy also. And Jimmy Caperna, because he was the one that got me to wrestle. Couldn't play any other sport, I was too small. So, and there were no cuts on the wrestling team, so that's the sport I did. But anyway, moving on into high school, oh my God. I still got friends from high school, it's unbelievable. I mentioned Rob Chalkowick, Kevin Mutel, Sean Coffey. Sean Coffey is a rocket scientist, lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm hoping when I get to Albuquerque, I get to visit Sean. I got to mention Lou Groya. We got reconnected recently. His wife Beth from high school. Of course, Jeff Jafuni's wife Heidi went to Calhoun. It was an interesting place to go to high school. A little bit crazy. Remember my first day, I went into the bathroom and guys were smoking cigarettes and sharing a 6-pack of Budweiser. I was like, oh boy, what I get myself into, my knees were shaking. But anyway, we had a lot of fun at Calhoun. And I also got to give a little shout out to the wrestling team at Calhoun, because I don't know, it did teach, even though I was a mediocre wrestler, it did teach me about discipline. Got to give a shout out to Coach Burry, who passed away recently. I saw his sons Bob and Billy. Billy was a year older than me, Bobby was a year younger than me. And I got to also give a shout out to Danny O'Brien, really good friend of mine, who also became a firefighter. Danny was a year younger than me, so we wrestled together for 2 years. And we also had a little partnership with the landscaping company called Shamrock Industries. Danny still has that company to this day. My hat's off to Danny. Got to give a shout out to a couple other wrestlers. Mike Patton, who passed away a few years ago. Danny Harvey, Tommy Harvey. Oh God, there's a lot of guys on the wrestling team that was something else. Tom McGalley, wrestled with him in junior high and high school. I heard Tommy's not doing too well today, but I am thinking about you, Tom, and I hope you bounce back. One other quick story. Talk about a rudderless ship. And I'm talking about myself trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. Jesus. I was 17 years old. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I got to go to the guidance counselor to get some guidance, figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Senior year in high school. So I go into the guidance counselor. Sitting next to me is Rob Chalkowick. He's ahead of me. He actually goes in, he talks to Mr. Shannon, Dan Shannon, our guidance counselor. And Rob comes out, and I say to Rob, what are you going to do with your life? He goes, I'm going to Nassau Community College. I'm going to take marketing. Oh, wow, okay. I go into Mr. Shannon's office to talk about what I'm going to do with my life. And Mr. Shannon goes to me, Joe, what are you going to do with your life? I said, you know what I'm going to do, Mr. Shannon? I'm going to go to Nassau Community College, and I'm going to take marketing. He says, boy, that's a good idea. Here's your application to Nassau Community College, fill it out and mail it in. I walked out the door, no idea what marketing was, no idea about anything. So that was it. That's kind of my high school story. We'll get into college and other things in the fire department later on. So just a little biography on Joe Matthews. Wow, not a car hasn't passed us on this road. That's a beautiful thing. And we got, according to Google Maps, we got an hour and 24 minutes to go. And I got not even 10:30. Talk about a half a day. John and I are going to be done probably close to noon. We didn't take a break yet, really, so we'll probably stop for a banana or an apple. There's no coffee shops around this route. That's the other thing that's nice about Google Maps. You can hit the search bar for either coffee, a restaurant, a bite to eat, and it tells you the nearest place. So I threw the search in, and like the nearest place is where we're staying for the night anyway. So we'll probably stop in a half an hour, have a banana. I don't know if you can see my banana. I got my banana here. I got an apple. I got water. I got power bars. So I'll have to probably do one of those breaks today, which is fine. It's all part of the adventure. Alrighty, guys. Wow. I've said this so many times. We're hitting great weather. Oh, so I got to give him another shout out with this great weather, because some of you guys know I volunteer a week of my time every year at a burn camp up in Connecticut for kids who were burned severely. So it's a fun little week of volunteering. And I met this guy, George Gomez. So a shout out to George. He's a weather fanatic. He happens to be in Tennessee, and I may be meeting him tomorrow night or the next night in Cooksville. I forget what night I have from Cooksville, but he's around town. So I may hook up with George. But just before I leave on the trip, George sends me a message. Facebook. Joe, don't leave September 18th. The weather's going to be horrible. George, maybe you're right somewhere down the road, but to this day, you've been dead wrong. The weather's been absolutely awesome, but who knows? Maybe down the road it's going to get worse. We're heading south now, south and west. So we got Nashville 3 days away, and then Memphis another 4 days away, and then we're about as south as we're going to be. But I don't think we're going to get too cold. We may hit, who knows? Every day is an adventure. All right, guys, enough talk from me. Talk to you later. Bye.